republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, say good morning to everyone. If you can hear me.
Everybody here?
Morning.
Good morning.
Here's all the
First item
dates.
is to approve the agenda.
So
Is there a motion to approve that?
Tracy made it and I'll second it.
Okay. And I'll call for a vote. Is Primer, aye?
Steve and I,
Beershank, aye.
Very good. Myron in there?
no.
No.
Not yet. Okay. Well, how about the minutes?
Oh, wait on
Get a
that.
chance to look them over?
Yep.
There was 2 sets.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 sets.
Yes, February 6th and the 8th, I believe. And I did notice a misspelling on the one for February 9th, was that? I'm not sure which one it was. The one at Farm Bureau?
Yeah.
The 8th.
Yeah. There's misspelling about halfway through it. The word questions at the end left off.
Okay. I'll fix that.
That's a simple fix. Is there anything else?
Only thing
Otherwise,
I seen on the same one, Rick, beginning of that sentence says chairman called the meeting to order at 6 o'clock.
okay,
I should say.
Yeah.
Co-chair.
Yeah.
Gary.
vice chair.
Vice
Yeah.
chair.
That's the only thing.
Okay, good point.
So I'll make a motion to approve both sets of minutes on February 8th and February 9th.
No, 6th.
Okay, with those,
I think the right date.
6th and 8th.
6th and 8th.
What is?
Second.
okay. I'll call for vote, please. Primer, aye?
Steve and I,
Beershank, aye.
Aye.
Myron's here now.
Okay. Well, if he's ready, let's get him started.
He's getting his stuff together.
You betcha. Yeah, I'm not watching the YouTube. I don't have enough computer screen for all that.
Benton County solicited bids for a 110-foot by 30-foot-and-a-half concrete construction, continuous concrete slab bridge, Cedar Township, 16th Avenue. And this morning, we are to open the bids. They submitted all of their bids to the auditor's office yesterday morning. It looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contractors that have submitted a bid for this project. And no apparent order other than how the auditor handed it to me. The first one I have is for K Construction Incorporated out of Elkader.
What was their name, please?
K
K Construction, the letter K.
Okay.
They have done work in Benton County in years past.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
He's opening the bid.
You betcha.
The total project costs from K Construction, as submitted, is $569,774.60. The next one I have in my pile is Iowa Bridge and Culvert LC out of Washington, Iowa. Likewise, this contractor has done work in Benton County also. Total project cost from Iowa Bridge and Culvert, $652,681.95. The next one is Peterson Contractors Incorporated out of Rhinebeck. Peterson's total project cost bid is $559,457.50. The next one I have is from Taylor Construction Incorporated out of New Vienna. Taylor's total project cost bid is $570,546.25. The next one I have is Jim Schroeder Construction Incorporated out of Bellevue, Iowa. Their total project cost bid is $597,671.29. And that would be all of the bids that have been received for this project.
All right. It looks like PCI is the low one.
Yeah, 559, 457.
Okay.
That's what you show, isn't it?
I was reading them, so that's why I was asking for somebody that wrote it down. Short of going through,
559, 457, 50 cents.
yeah. Short of going through all of the unit prices to make sure that number checks out, I would, I guess, probably just do that here, and like we have done in the past, I'll put it back on the agenda for next week to approve them if these are all correct, and then take action on that accordingly.
Okay.
Do we make a motion to
Sounds
accept
good.
by grid first?
Sure, we can.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to accept all 5 bids presented today.
Second.
Okay. All right, been moved and seconded to accept those bids. Call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Pink eye.
Very good. Then you'll get it on next week's agenda, Myron, correct?
Right.
Okay, perfect. All right.
A couple weeks ago, I think I talked about asphalt surfacing, resurfacing projects for this construction season. Resurfacing E24 from Vinton East out to the Oak Grove Church. Resurfacing W26 from the Shalsburg city limits north to about the Cedar River Bridge. And surfacing E29, which would be 61st Street Lane, 33rd Avenue Drive and 59th Street Trail from the Oak Grove Church east, northeast to the Lynn County line. I have the 3 title sheets for those 3 projects that I would need the Board of Supervisors to sign off on the title sheet, so those plans can get submitted to the DOT this week for the Iowa DOT's May letting month.
Okay. So we need to,
Motion to accept
Motion
those
to
projects.
approve. Okay.
Make a motion to approve the 3 signings of the 3 different projects. 130, 131, and 132, how's that?
That works for me.
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded. Call for vote, please. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
That's all I have. Rick, Tracy, and Gary are signing those plans here.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Myron. Coming up, I'm gonna have a question on, one of the claims for you, Myron.
Okay, I'm sticking around for a while, so I
Yeah,
could ask it whenever that comes up.
I'll probably jump on it next. I mean, what's the timed items?
Yeah, 910. For half.
Yep, 9:10, so, yeah, Mona.
Are you guys ready for me? Do I have to like roll my chair up there?
Probably get closer so Rick can hear you.
Rick, can you hear me okay?
I got you now, thank you.
Okay. All right, so what, the region has to have the MOU that you guys signed last year, having like all of the regional employees, what percentage they are, and then for like Exhibit A and Exhibit B. So it's just re-signing the exact same thing you guys did last year. The only thing that changed, and I sent this to Haley, so if you guys don't have it, let me know, was basically the region shall issue funds to each member county for 1/4 of the members' combined payroll and occupancy budgeted at the expenses. Above, the only thing they added was on the following schedule during the first week of July, the first quarter of the fiscal year, and all subsequent quarter payments will be made, and then it gives the date. So it changed it from July, October, January, and April to just October, January, and April, because that first payment will come earlier. And then they added a reconciliation of actual expenses against the amount paid to the county will occur after the fourth quarter actual expense report has been received. If a county did not spend its entire allocation, the difference then is divided by 2 and subtracted from the third and fourth quarters. And then if the expenditures exceeded the amount, they'll receive a check for the difference, as long as it's approved by RGB. So those are the only things that are different from the MOU last year. So I know that you guys just signed Exhibit A for the percentage change of Sarah's, I don't know, probably last month, but this one would be effective July 1. So that one that you guys signed would stay effective from February 1st to July 1, and then these ones, and all this says is I'm 100%, Missy's 100%, Sarah's 100%, and Bethany's 100%. So I just need you guys to sign Exhibit A. Exhibit B is exactly the same as it was last year, nothing in that changed, and then the actual like MOU. So I just need you to sign those 3, and that's it.
Okay, so we'll need a motion to approve and sign that, correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's something that you have to sign.
Yep.
yeah. There'll be a little delay for me unless we can do it electronically.
I can send them to you electronically, and you can sign and send it back. That's fine.
Okay, if you could, please.
Yep, I will do that as soon as I leave here. And then what happens, so you'll sign them, send them back to me, and then they will go to the regional governing board at the end of this month. They'll sign them, and then I'll get a copy back to Haley with the regional governing board signature as well.
Okay, sounds good.
So I make a motion that we have the chairman sign the memorandum of understanding,
And then it's Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
A and B.
Second.
Okay. All right, then moved and seconded. And I will call for a vote, please. Kramer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
All right, thank you. Ramona, thank you for sending that electronically.
Absolutely, I'm gonna go send it right now, so you should have it in the next 15 minutes.
Okay,
Thank you, thank
very good. Is Matt there?
Yes, he is.
Are we ready for him, or?
Yes, we are.
So, yeah, because nothing's changed.
And Rick, did you get the text I sent you here, a copy of a letter we got in opposition to the request?
I
Just sent it here about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, probably not. Let me pull it up here, Matt.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Got it now.
All right. So with this request, Steve and Lexus Spidell, they're requesting change of use of approximately 1.25 acres of land to allow for a single-family dwelling and buildings associated with their business. The site is located approximately 2 miles south of Benton on Highway 218. And this site, it's currently a 5.44 acre parcel that's owned by Joseph Molnix. The entire site of this request, it is considered high-quality farmland, but it appears that this area has mainly been used as pasture since prior to the adoption of the ordinance. But recently, it does appear that there has been some baling occurring on this. It's about 0.95 acre chunk of land here that is able to be baled. The parcel has an average weighted corn suitability rating of 92. So with this request, the applicant will need to install a new driveway to access this property. The Iowa Department of Transportation, they reviewed the request for a driveway and they will not permit a new driveway in this location. It's my understanding they increased their site distance and so they're no longer able to get driveway there. It's 600 feet now, I believe is what Steve told us it was for the state. So they are now looking at possibly improving 62nd Street, which is a level B service road, and with the costs associated with that if they wish to still proceed with this project. So at this point, they had asked that we table this till they're able to figure out here a little bit more if driveway is going to be feasible on that end, which obviously with that being a level B service road, they're going to have to talk to Myron here if they do wish to proceed with this, as well as come to you guys there to get approval for that, is what Randy had informed me here. So that is kind of where this is at right now. So they're still trying to figure out some more information, make sure this all works. So they had asked that we table this, and we're thinking about possibly if you guys consider tabling to March 5th, give them a little bit more time here to get stuff figured out, and see which steps they would need to take next here. And we did get one letter of opposition, which provides you all with, and this was from Jennifer White, and I can go ahead and read that here if you'd like. As an adjoining property owner, I would like to strongly object to having the land considered in this request changed to a residence with a well business. This is a farm/residential area. Commercial business does not need to be here. There's already an existing well business on the highway a few miles to the north. Also, another driveway access off the highway might cause problems for traffic. 4 driveways in less than half mile seems excessive, and that was signed sincerely Jennifer White. And so she owns the property immediately to the south of Joe Molinix's property.
Okay, so do we need a motion to table this?
Yes.
Yes.
March 5th, if that works for you guys, and we'll see if
We
they've
already
got,
got one for March 5th. Do you want to combine them?
I think that's, we talked about that.
Right. Is there 9:30 that day, Haley?
9:15.
You want to make it 9:30?
Yes, make
Yeah.
this one 9:30, please.
Well, I'm taking a motion to table this application until March 5th at 9:30.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. I'll call for a vote, please. Primer, aye.
Team and I.
Beershank, aye.
Okay.
Motion carries.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
I appreciate you sending all that stuff out beforehand.
Yep, you're welcome. And I'll send stuff out here, once, get that figured out. If we do have it done by the 5th, then I'll get that sent to you as well then.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So shall we back up discussion to item 5, which is the claims?
That works.
Okay. I did have a couple questions, one from Myron while he's there. On page 7, there's a PK, which is parts and labor, just under 15,000. Is that a tractor, mower?
Yes, it is, Rick.
Okay. I figured it probably was, but I thought I'd ask.
So, we had a tractor go down last fall when everything was busy. We took it to P&K to take a look at that, to diagnose, and trying to diagnose what was wrong was intensive investigation. It was the labor primarily that's on that, and for one of the tractor mowers.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I kind of thought it was probably one of those mowers, so, okay. All righty. Well, another question I had, which is on page 2, there was a registration for breaker and bar, and I think that'd be with Myron, a $1,700 registration.
No, those are mine.
Those are sheriff's.
Oh, that's sheriff's, that's Ron's, okay. That's a schooling someplace?
Education, yes. Crime
Wow.
scene,
What's that, Ron?
What's that, sir?
crime scene.
Crime
Crime
scene.
scene, okay. Okay, yeah, that would be a little spendy. Okay, those are the questions I had. You gentlemen have any?
I don't have any.
I'm good.
All right, so can I get a motion to approve those,
So moved.
the claims? Okay.
I'll second it.
All right, so moved and seconded to approve those, all the claims, and I'll call for vote. Primer, aye.
Team and I.
Beershank, aye.
Can we act on the ARPA
Thank
one?
you.
Okay, make sure Tracy does that.
There's an ARPA on there?
Yep, I didn't catch it until,
She didn't get it on the agenda.
it's the True North, it's in your claims packet though.
Okay. Can we approve that if it's not on the agenda?
Yeah, I mean, it's the claims, I want it listed separately, please.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve those ARPA claims?
I'll make a motion to approve the American Relief Fund, for Elwick Electric, $577.60. RC Tech, courthouse wiring for $3,551. And True North Consulting, radio tower projects for $4,428. Grand total of $8,556.60.
Okay. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
All right, moved and seconded to approve those 3 claims out of the ARPA fund. Call for vote, please. Primer, aye.
Team and I.
Beershank, aye.
Well, thank you, guys. Give me a moment to sign all that needs to be. Let me know when you're ready.
We're ready.
Okay. Well, the next item up there, it shows approved fireworks permit for Daniel Maravitz
Yep,
for April 6th, 2024. Should have some paperwork there.
yep.
And I
have all-
have visited with Daniel.
We have all his insurance and everything is included in that. Do you want to have one of Gary sign these today so we can keep moving on those?
I would say so, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Haley.
Yep.
I guess I'd make a motion that we approve this permit.
Is this, on what's that, the fireworks permit, Gary?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right. That's been moved and seconded to approve the firework permit. Now call for vote, please. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
And again, even though I didn't see the permit, I had visited with Daniel, so I'm very well aware of what's going on. Let me know when you're signed and ready to roll.
Need to know where to sign.
Usually the very last page. Right there.
Are you ready to go forward?
Almost.
Okay.
Okay, so on that one, those are the loan contracts that we're gonna do, and then the liquor license. So if he authorizes you, you'll just have to sign it. But you haven't done those yet, so
Okay.
those are the two spots.
We're ready.
He's just gonna sit by me for signatures.
All right. Well, Haley, my question, since it's almost 9:30, do we need to do number 7 before we do 13?
Oh, no, I see a typo anyway, that should be fiscal year 25 budget hearing.
Oh,
So-
okay, that should be 25
Yeah.
on number 7.
Yep, so you can strike that because I was, I'm playing around with 2 dates right now,
Okay,
so we can wait and do that
So-
next week. But I'm,
okay, we'll just skip over item 7.
Yeah.
Do we need to table it or anything?
yeah, you can
Not
table it,
necessarily.
because I'm debating between 2 dates. I can send you guys those, just didn't know how soon you were ready to continue.
Sure, okay, well.
And
he
then-
just, it doesn't show take action, he says, well, he does, it says
Let's
set. So, can I
Yeah.
get a motion just to table item 7?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Too many fiscal years
Moved
at
and
once.
seconded, so call for vote, Primer, aye.
Team and I.
Beershank, aye.
Thank you. And I got 9:30 for item 13.
Yep, so that is our fiscal year 24 budget amendment number 2. Let me go over the service areas, what we amended.
Could you please?
So we did public safety in the amount of 5,802. Physical health and social services, we amended 25,546. County environment and education was 332,800. A lot of that has to do with Shelby's pass-through grants for conservation. So as you can see on the
What was
red,
that amount again?
332,800.
Thank you.
And that is offset by revenue in the amount of 313,000.
Okay.
Then we have roads and transportation, which is the engineer, for 260,000. Government services to residents, 15,000. Administration, 12,940. And then we have non-program area for 225,000. A lot of that's, we have carryover like from the Hannon shop. We have a skid bucket we need for conservation. We have some salary changes with some departments, along with Kara and the GA side. And we had postage for the Senate File 718. And then just admin with additional costs for various departments. So,
Okay.
and that has to be adopted by a resolution, if you agree to
All right.
those.
Did we actually need to open the hearing or anything of that nature?
Yes, I would open it up for public comments.
Okay. But I'll do so. Open it up for public comments. Is there anyone there from the public?
We do have a few people here, media and public. Anybody have anything?
Sure. Any comments? If none, I'll call the hearing closed. Do we need a motion to approve this
Yeah.
second hearing?
Yes, and it's resolution number 2417.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2417.
Okay. Can we get a second?
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded to approve that resolution 2417. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Team and I.
Beershank, aye.
Very good, thank you. Thank you, Haley.
Yep.
What's that?
I'll get your signatures in a minute. You want to do
Tell
number
me when you're
8?
ready.
It's 9:35.
Sorry.
Yep. Are we ready for Sue?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so the handbook committee, subcommittee met to talk about revising the language in the handbook and the holiday schedule. There was some confusion over that, Christmas Eve, half-day, full day, and what to do when it's on a weekend. So I sent you the proposal that they came up with. So it would be, I also got data from other cities and counties, about 43 participated. The average number of holidays they have is 12. Some have, a few have 15, a few have 14, a few have 13, a few have 11. but the average of the 43 in the survey was 12. We have 11 and a half if we use Christmas Eve as a half day. So the proposal was to make Christmas Eve a full day and then to put language of when it would fall. If it's on a Saturday, it would be observed on the preceding Friday. And if it's Christmas Eve is on a Sunday, the handbook committee proposed it would also follow on a Friday. I brought that to the department head meeting. There was a concern about the department that does the day hab transportation. They said that if we had that on a Friday, that they wouldn't be able, they have people that would need transportation that we wouldn't be able to provide. So he also pointed out, that's probably gonna happen every, 8-10 years when it happens again. But was just a concern that he had to be able to serve those members. So the other thing we changed was we had personal day and birthday as two separate line items. We just rolled those into just two floats. It sounds like birthdays aren't always honored on birthdays, and then it's kind of hard to track. So instead of just calling it a birthday, it would just be two floating holidays. So not giving anything more, just rephrasing what they're called to keep it simpler. And then we had added the language, all new hires are awarded these floating days with their first holiday, with their first payroll, regardless of their date of hire. So that was something else where there was a waiting period, and the group thought that, somebody new starts and it could be a while before they get vacation or sick leave, so allowing them those two floats from day one would just be a nice perk to be able to offer new hires. So those were the proposals to see if you were interested in revising the handbook to make those changes. The Christmas Eve has been obviously discussed a lot, so just putting it in there so it didn't have to be revisited each year. So the big change is to make it from a half day to a full day, to have a specific schedule of when it will be honored, when it's on a weekend, and then changing the verbiage of personal and birthday to just two floats.
I missed part of that, Sue. Did you just say that changing the half day to a full day?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was the recommended proposal.
So the Christmas Eve half day would go to a full day,
Correct.
okay?
Which again, when we did a survey of these other 43 cities and counties, the majority did have that as a full day. It doesn't mean that we have to, just in comparing us to others. It seems like that's
Sure.
a pattern from those around us.
Do we have to make a motion to get rid of 4.1 that's in the handbook now and replace it with the new 4.1?
That's my understanding, is that right, Haley?
Yes, you would do it with an addendum or something that we would have to replace the old with the new addendum. 'Cause that's where some of the confusion was before. So if we have it in action in the minutes, that we have record of it.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the new updated holiday for 4.1 for the handbook to replace the old version of the 4.1.
Okay, so the only sentence I need clarification on, I'm sorry, Rick, is just, one proposal says is if Christmas Eve is on a Saturday, it's observed on the preceding Friday. If Christmas Eve is on Sunday, it will be observed on the preceding Friday. And the other version says if it's on a Saturday, it's observed on the preceding Friday. And if it's on a Sunday, it's observed on the following Tuesday. Just need to know how you want that handled. Again, the handbook's proposal was to have them both on a Friday, to have that extra time before the holiday. And then there was just mention of, again, helping with those day hab units and not being available to do that. But, again, it would be rare.
Well, don't you even have the same problem if it's on a Tuesday?
If it's on a Tuesday, it's gonna be recognized on Tuesday. So this caveat language is only when Christmas Eve is on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Correct, I get that, but, I mean, if you observe Christmas Eve on the following Tuesday, I mean, you wouldn't have transportation services available then either, would you?
What they were saying was based on what happened last time, because we didn't take that Tuesday, we only had one vehicle running because of how, it sounds like in past history, they're gonna move it forward. The entities that we do driving for that follow school districts and those sorts of things, it sounded like the thought process was to coincide with how they would honor the holiday. We'd be in line with how they did it more if we bumped it forward.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We'd be closed when they're closed, we'd be open when they're open. They'd probably stay open on that Friday, so we'd be available to transport them.
Sure. I get it. I see. Okay.
But again, he said,
What do you think, guys?
you know, it's gonna come up every however many years, so. Just need clarification on that one point.
It makes sense to follow the schools.
Tracy?
Well, I already made a motion when I wanted it, so.
Okay, you wanted it to stay on the Friday. Is that correct?
No, just what she's got on here.
Okay. But she was asking for clarification for that, wasn't it, Sue? Did I read you wrong?
Yeah, I'm just asking for clarification. I just want it to be clear, the handbook committee recommended the preceding Friday, and then I brought it to the department head meeting, and that concern was brought up for them from that department. And so, I just wanted to present both options, you know,
Okay.
just, yes.
And your motion, Tracy, was to do it as per the handbook committee, correct?
Right, the only thing it says, last sentence, it will be observed on the following Tuesday or preceding Friday. You know, to me, you just
Okay.
take off the last 4 words.
Okay, so you want it on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so if Christmas Eve is
Okay.
on a Saturday, it's observed on the preceding Friday. If Christmas Eve's on a Sunday, it's observed on the following Tuesday.
Okay, and that's your motion, Tracy?
Yep,
Okay, and that kind of falls in line with what Gary was stating, that it makes sense to stay with the, you know, the surrounding school districts, et cetera. So, okay, that makes some sense. And as well as ECOG, that must be their schedule. So, okay, all right. So is there a second, Gary?
Yep. I'll second that.
I missed that.
yeah, he seconded.
Okay, all right. So it has been moved and seconded, and I'll call for a vote, please. I got Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. Yep, and then I just had a part 2, we had talked about the, because we had 2 versions of the handbook floating around, there was some confusion about getting a half day for Christmas Eve. And so, we had talked about how to kind of reconcile that, because there was a version of the handbook that looked like we did get a half day Christmas Eve, and then there was another version that says that we didn't. We ended up not getting it, so I just wanted to propose a 4-hour float for that Christmas Eve kind of confusion, because again, we have a version out there that employees see as a handbook that doesn't have that part removed. And so was wondering about offering a 4-hour float to offset that has to be used by June 30th.
Okay. What do you think, guys?
I guess I have no problem with it.
And she brought this to us before,
Yep.
mentioned it, so, yeah. So, Gary, what do you think?
I don't have a problem with it either.
Okay, so either you want to make a motion?
I'll move that we award employees 4 hours to be used by 6:30.
Okay, of 24,
Yes,
okay. And that's for a floating holiday, right?
yes.
Holiday pay, okay.
I think we don't
All
say
right.
holiday, we just say float, right? To make it clear
Float.
for those, yeah,
Okay.
yep, just a
Okay.
4-hour floating day.
All right. All right, so that sounds good to me. The second on that?
Yes. I'll second
All
it.
right. Okay, it's been moved and seconded, so I'll call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
All right, very good. Thank you, Sue. Anything else?
Nope, that's all I had, thank you guys.
Okay, thank you. Well, I've got 9:46. I presume Shelby's there?
Yep.
Okay. You taking the floor?
Sure. I hope so.
Sit here.
Yes.
Loud enough. I emailed out, Haley, did you happen to send this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. Emailed out what the County Conservation Board approved last night for terms of the IRM, or like breakdown of the IRM and the understandings and agreements. So that's where we're at with that.
Well, I read that email. You did a lot of work. Looks good.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be questions as we go forward. You fellas get a chance to look at that?
I read
Of
it.
course, Tracy, you were already there.
there was a lot of good discussion by her board and her employees with regards to it. I think Shelby put a lot of work in how to make this work, and I think, I don't know, I think touched on all the bases.
Okay. The only question I had came out of the Farm Bureau meeting. Jill was there and she said to look at an Iowa code. I've not looked that code up.
I have it.
Is that anything that's going to create an issue for us?
No, under departmental agreements, so per the code, whoever is assigned as the weed commissioner or appointed as the weed commissioner has to have a written report to the Board of Supervisors by the first day of November each year. So that would be at minimum what this appointed individual has to do for reporting to the Board of Supervisors, per state code.
All right.
And in the agreement that we talked about last night, it would be, they report to you guys twice a year, because once I don't think is enough. And obviously, they'd most likely be here more frequently than that, just as I am here more than just for the budget. Just open communication, basically. But at minimum, twice a year is what the Conservation Board voted on, and one would be that October official report.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they usually have to do a publication,
Yeah.
in the spring.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I was impressed.
Probably the only concern that I have is maybe it would be good to have, at least 3 times a year.
For reporting to the board.
Yes.
I think, the plan, well, we will be having a large, IRM committee meeting every January. And I think it would be, it coincide with our January Conservation Board meeting as well. And you guys would be asked to attend that every year. So I think that could be the third. So it'd be coming up into spring season, after spring season, and then that January meeting. That, I don't think that would be an issue.
Did you hear that? Did you hear all that, Rick?
I did, yes, I did. Yeah. Well, again, I think, just like Sue said, I think Shelby's done an excellent job thinking through this. And, pretty excited to have her management skills involved here, so.
I agree.
Great.
Yeah, she has a
How about
question.
you, Tracy? You were at the meeting.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. And I know you were concerned last week with maybe biting off more than she could chew. I think were your exact words, but,
Kelly got a question.
sounded like the board, Conservation Board, approved it. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
we
All
have,
right.
we have the public here. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kelly Van Reet. My question on it was, last week you had kind of went through some of the thoughts of the process, and it sounds like there's some cost concern, because obviously if Shelby's taking on more duties, her wage would be adjusted. And then Shelby's recommendation was that you increase the starting pay to attract somebody who's qualified in it. But there wasn't a lot of benefits to it, besides the fact that Shelby may have more work, the conservation people may be called in when they're already busy. So what, I guess from the public perspective, what would the benefit be of moving the the IV or IRM department to conservation? Besides Shelby's good management skills.
Did you hear all that, Rick?
It was pretty tough to hear much. Sorry. I think it was what's the benefit to Shelby, basically is the bottom line, to move that.
I
Is
think,
that correct?
what's the county benefit?
County.
County benefit?
Yes.
Well, I think I stated that, she's got some excellent management skills. They would work in her proposal, basically the 10 to 20% of the time jointly as they currently do. And so that would be a continued benefit. Plus, you got people on both sides that are, well, they're conservation minded, obviously, like skills and equipment sharing. Fellows, thoughts?
Well, some of the things that we talked about at the meeting last night are not in this, that was sent later after the meeting. I guess one of the things was, we should have had something in here. I remember, I agree with some of the actions was that, a year from now, we should revisit this.
Yep, that's under
See how-
departmental agreements on page 2. There's a lot of information. I can work on organizing it towards a little bit cleaner, but yeah, that's under departmental agreements on page 2. Let's see, just in that first section. Agreement with Board of Supervisors and Conservation Board assessing January 2025 and January of 2026 on whether it shall remain under conservation.
Well, if you want to suggest it, that's probably.
Yeah, thank you.
I have it already.
Mine's really scribbled.
Which makes sense. I mean, you're trying something new and, you know, good Lord willing, it all works out. If it doesn't, well, you go back to the old way.
I think another, I just had a staff member text me to assist with answering that question. They said a huge taxpayer benefit is coming up with this bottom line standard expectation for Benton County as a whole and having that push of we are elevated here, and then that way we don't have these constant turnovers and vacancies and lack of stability in a department.
I can also see grant writing as a benefit.
Yeah.
I mean, you got an office manager, or would propose an office manager, and having grant writing as a skill, you know, not everyone has that, what do I want to say, that skill set. So there are some definite advantages.
We still would have to appoint a lead.
Correct, and under her recommendation, it would probably be the IRBM manager.
After this year.
Was that
Yes,
after the, yes, isn't that how I read it?
yes. It would be the roadside manager after this year. They would take on those responsibilities.
That-
Just because you're supposed to appoint by March 1st, there's no way that position will be filled by then.
Right, right.
So we would appoint whoever it is after March 1st, correct?
Yeah, so after this first year, so once everyone's hired and we get started, you're gonna have to appoint somebody else by March 1st. And then when it comes to appointment the following year, it would go under this, whoever this individual is for the manager side of things. Which would be highly beneficial because they should have a decent understanding of the county by then and locations and the department and the equipment and everything. So taking that additional responsibility on should be relatively seamless compared to throwing it at somebody who that could be coming from across the state or something and doesn't even know where Benton County is yet.
Now, the other thing is that some of the verbiage that's in here as for salaries, you quoted them a lot higher. Now, I have not sat down from our meeting from 8:30 last night till this morning to add these up, to look at the budget, which at this time,
She sent me some, but that was for your conservation, right?
Yeah, so under budget on that sheet that
Yep, I brought them.
perfect. Well, that's conservation.
Right.
So that's different than what they're talking about. I think they're talking about the IRM budget. I suggested the only change be an increase of 37,000 and then I broke out why.
In the Department 24.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep, and I did give you those, if you tell me what line items to correct.
Perfect.
Tweak, if you guys are agreeing that.
Yeah, because then that would be, it'd be for the whole department. I mean, the percent changes.
Because that's in 2 different service areas
Yes.
as well.
because I haven't looked at that, I was telling them last night, or maybe it was last week, I says, a year ago, we bought $65,000 worth of chemicals, which are still sitting in
Right.
his shed out there.
Right.
We haven't used, so it ain't like this year you're gonna have to buy basically nothing.
This would be for the ability to offer more if a super qualified, highly experienced individual is wanting to maybe come from let's say Polk County, and it's a crew of 15, I'm just making up numbers, I don't know, and then they're like, I'm ready to manage my own department, and they come here with all of that experience and everything, you want to be able to offer them not just a sliding scale. So part of that increase is just to offer that sliding scale, just like the office manager position, for instance, under conservation, there's a max amount, and it just has that ability for a sliding scale. So if you get someone with less experience, they're gonna be on the lower end, more experience higher. You know, you don't wanna just have, you're making this much no matter what, it really limits your pool. So budgeting for the max awesomeness coming in, and then having the ability to hire someone not as awesome, but will be just as awesome in a couple of years.
So that include, that 37,000 include insurance benefits, all that?
Yes,
all-
I have everything worked into that.
Okay, perfect. You can get me that with you guys' blessing, because that's one of those levies we talked about
Right, that's
possibly
what-
lowering, so.
I have it, yeah, I have it completely broken out, exactly how much for each, including benefits.
That's on the weed department.
Yes,
Because that's real service levy, so.
But that's going up 37,000.
total, like, nothing else being
In addition to what
touched.
we already put in that one.
Yeah,
Because Shelby's out of general basic, so
Because of
that's.
course, this
Two
year,
different things.
we're not even gonna be nowhere close
no,
to that.
but but this is for future planning, so starting, you know, I understand this year, nothing has, not even touching it, but I'm trying to think ahead and set us
I
up.
am gonna do a service area amendment probably next week or the next 2 weeks with some other areas to wiggle around with, so. Look at some things.
And I understand, budgeting for the higher amount, but realistically, probably not using it.
Yeah, you don't know, depends who you get.
Right. But having an abundance of chemicals, just like Tracy said. So, yeah, but that's in this year's budget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like 18 months out always for success, that's it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, like you said, you put a lot of time and thought into this. So, I personally think this is a good alternative for us.
I'm not hearing anything out of you, Gary.
I'm trying to take it all in. I think it's good. I'm glad that there's somebody willing to take this by the horns.
We're moving forward, and that's a blessing. Right now we're at a stalemate. We got nothing going. And so this at least rolls forward, and reviewing it, 25 and 26, I mean, that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm in favor of getting her done. Other discussion?
I'm kind of on the fence either way. I'm not against it, not for it. There's a lot of unknowns, but I agree, we gotta get moving on this regardless.
Yeah. Well, anytime you do something new, it's going to be a lot of questions. With 10 other counties going with it, and they don't even think twice about it, according to what Shelby was telling us last week. And so, yeah, I think we should make it happen. So,
I guess one thing could you keep us informed as for applications,
Oh, yeah.
on this job, and you know what I mean?
I think I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking for the interview panel, I was gonna ask Myron or one of his guys to be on it. And then one of the board of supervisors, because they'll be reporting eventually, this individual will be reporting to you guys as well. Just kind of depends, most likely one of you two, no offense, Primer, but you guys are the ones that are, more on the weed side of things. So, and then I was going to potentially ask a director that is a little bit removed from Benton County that does have IRM under their department and it's been really successful, see if he'd be willing to give up a day or two and come down and be on the panel as well. So.
Sure.
If that's, I haven't talked to Sue about any of this, but I was just thinking about it last night, like what the makeup would look like, and then potentially one of my staff. It might be a lot of people, but it's better to get a good feel for all the departments involved, so.
And the other thing I'd like to see that, like in November, we would all have a sit down with the new person and you to see how it went.
Yeah. Well, and I think,
mean?
and that goes back to those meetings too, in October, that's per the code for the written agreement. I mean, we could just sit in on that and then again in January, and then.
Because the IRM, if I remember right, they are actually supposed to meet 4 times a year.
By code, they have to meet every January. So that's why I'm working all of these in to hit all of the state code needs. We're meeting.
One of the members was there last night on the IRM.
Yes, 2, 3, technically.
You're right,
Zach, Becky, and Jeff, yeah.
You're right, Becky too, I forgot.
Mhm.
It's been so long since we met.
Right. No, I'm just figuring all out who's on it and everything else too, so.
Right. Okay.
Well, Tracy, if you would be on that hiring committee, I'd greatly appreciate that. You're going to be around for 25, 26. You're going to be around for a couple more years. Plus, you're on the conservation. I mean, you're not a voting member on that board, but you attend the meetings. And so you've got a good handle on things and going to be around for a while. So, I would recommend that you be on that committee.
Okay.
Other discussion?
Myron, you got any thoughts?
No, I mean, Shelby and I have talked, and I heard the Conservation Board's questions and comments last night, being in attendance. And as Rick just said, needing to move forward, like you say, it is still winter, but it has turned over to a new calendar year, and with all calendar years, you've got growing season coming upon us, and there's going to be roadside management that's going to need to be addressed. Certainly Secondary Roads does some of it already in-house with roadside mowing, but the roadside spraying has always been a challenging part of roadside management for years. And right now you have a department that has expressed a willingness to try to move in the direction of managing the roadside spraying, and has put plenty of thought in it. I have told Shelby, and she's told her staff that, Secondary Roads is there also to assist and help. And through continued communication, I think, between Conservation, the Board of Supervisors, and Secondary Roads, that roadside management can move forward, and this proposal, I think, can work.
Okay. Thank you, Myron. Well, gentlemen?
Well, I guess I must have started off, everybody's quiet.
Oh, well, I don't have a problem. I would make a motion
Okay.
that we have this joint venture, or however you may want to call it. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. The way I was gonna word it, that we revisited within a 10-month time.
Well, I think that's
I
what she's
think,
got there.
yeah, accepting this proposal would be January, we assess.
Yeah, or put it as per
For the proposal.
recommendations from the Conservation Board and
Right.
Shelby.
It's on the second page, under departmental agreements, that bold, halfway down.
Yep.
Agreement between Board of Supervisors, Benton County Conservation Board, this will be a trial managing IRM, la-da-da-da-da. We will look at it at the meeting of January of 2025 and January 2026 to decide if we shall remain under conservation.
Yeah, that's gonna fall within that 10 months. So,
Yep.
Yep.
Because then that allows us to talk with Haley, budget, if anything, if you guys are like, absolutely not, this is not working by January, then we'll have time to figure out the budget before madness. And then also that runs under the IRM committee state code meeting that we have to have as well. So it just falls it all into one. For both. It'll be more like a 6-month
Okay.
trial and then an 18-month trial, basically.
So I started out with that motion, I'll continue with it. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
You want to restate that motion? It was kind of,
Yeah.
You want to restate that?
Yeah, try to, huh?
yeah, please.
So we would take the recommendation as presented to us by Shelby and the Conservation Board and enter into this agreement.
Okay, got it.
She's got it.
Okay. All right. And I'll call for a vote, please. Primer, aye.
Beershank, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Shelby. Thank you, Myron. And Tracy, you were at that meeting as well. So, thank you, everyone, for all the time and effort in this. It's good to get off dead center and start moving forward.
So are we clear to post that then? Okay.
I would sure say so, wouldn't you, Shelby?
Yeah. And then under, at the very end, that's the only part that's not filled out, like when it's due and who to report to and blah, blah, blah. But everything else.
Did you
should be good.
check
Okay, it's been looked at by like,
That was discussed a lot last night. I myself, I don't know anybody, but. Okay.
yeah, I think, because they're, just went with that, so as long as I get Haley the numbers, I think that would be.
Liquor license. So this was on, I think last week, we were waiting for the dram shop or the state from the Terra Hills. And we received word that is
Okay,
fine.
doing Terra Hills now?
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you.
And that's a yearly one. For the Class C retail alcohol 12-month liquor license.
Okay.
I'll pass it down.
Them all?
And then we got the law contract.
You guys get that looked over, and then I'll need someone to make a motion to approve that Class B license.
While they're looking that over, Haley,
What's that?
for our, for those 3 line item changes that I made, that the board approved, does they just need to eventually have that on the
I'll
agenda?
tweak
or-
this
Okay,
and then update theirs. What I'll do is before they do all their budget, I'll do a whole packet,
okay.
everything combined in one,
So-
rather than individual departments.
Do you want me to make one just like that for IRM now?
Yeah,
With
probably.
those
Highlight it, what you
2
changed.
changes? Okay, okay. Does that format worked out okay?
Mhm. Yep, then I can just go in one at a time and tweak it.
Perfect, okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to
sorry.
Approve the Class C retail alcohol license for Sarah Hills Country Club and have the vice chair sign it.
Okay,
Second.
and I would,
No, go
yeah,
ahead.
second. So, I'll second that.
All right.
That way you can sign it. And, I'll call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
Very good. Then I presume Ron's still there, he's got his law enforcement contract.
Yep. Tracy's got them. I got
Yeah.
them all on for next week.
Okay.
Is this the new wages or old wages?
The acting ticket.
That's the old one, yeah.
Okay.
Was that the old amounts?
Yes.
Yes.
Old wages, yes.
That's still in this fiscal.
That's at 3250 or something like that, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
That contract is good through.
You sent a letter out, I was told,
Yep,
that a couple mayors talked to me about it.
good.
Okay.
Not good.
No, I know it's not gonna be good. They don't wanna pay this much.
Ron, would it be Kate, would it be possible to see a copy of that letter you sent out?
Yes,
Okay, if you forward it to me, I'd appreciate it.
sure.
Thank you.
Now, these could actually wait till he's back to sign them.
Sure. Yeah, those expire in June.
Or just,
Yeah.
yeah, they should be active now, honestly. They're just behind.
Well,
Give them to
can't
us.
we make it so that the vice chair signs it on a motion?
Yeah, we could, I suppose.
I'm fine with that.
You're right. These are the new contracts that will be
They'll go out.
passed in effect.
The
Okay.
cities are just getting them to
Yep,
us, so.
I got it, okay. Well, everything's
We're
going.
gonna have to probably make two separate motions here.
No, no, no. I think I can make them both together, can I?
That's fine. We have in the past.
That's what I thought.
We have, okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, agree to the law enforcement contract with Urbana. 130 hours in a year, at a cost of $4,225. That's 2.5 hours of work a week. And also City of Atkins. That's a total of 18 hours a week, or 936 hours in a 12-month contract period here, for a total of $30,420.
Okay,
That's my motion.
very good. All right, do I have a
Oh.
second?
Second.
And then I'll add to that, that the vice chair signs both contracts.
Okay, very good.
That's fine with my
You're
second.
seconding. Okay, attaboy. Been moved and seconded to approve those two law enforcement contracts with the vice chair signing. So I'll call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beershank, aye.
Very good.
New Hall is the last one, I think, and that's, I just got that today, so. I think we'll be all good then. Reminder too that the
Let me know when you're ready to move on for reports.
Got it, Gary?
Yep, I'm done signing.
Okay, reports.
Okay, good, reports. Do you have any, I know you had a meeting last night, Tracy, obviously.
Yeah.
Any others?
No, not really. Farm Bureau last week, which was in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Gary?
I had a Board of Health meeting yesterday morning. We got set up, everything's good. We're gonna have meetings, second Thursday at 7 a.m. for the rest of the year, every month.
Second Thursday,
Yep, at 7 a.m.
7 a.m. Okay. Thank you for attending that. I didn't get the email. In fact, I didn't have internet service till yesterday afternoon, so.
We need to clarify
Yeah.
on that too. Can we clarify on that, Rick? Because Barb asked, is Gary the acting member? Or is Rick?
Rick is the active member that we,
I didn't catch any of that, I'm sorry.
they wanted to know how come Gary attended and not you. And I said, you elected to be on that board, and Gary would be the alternate, correct?
Right.
Okay,
Well, that's what they were trying to clarify that the other
okay,
day.
that's what it was.
All the meetings are the second Thursday at 7 a.m.
Okay, I'll get that on my calendar.
I'll have Grace update it so that he gets those notices too.
Okay. And I didn't have any reports. It'll be next week. I've got several. I should be able to Zoom those. All right. No other reports. I'll ask if there's any old business or public comments.
Public comments? Nothing from the press and nothing from the public. So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Beer shank aye.
All right, very good. Well, thank you one and all. I do appreciate it. And we will be talking.